everyone, welcome to the Not Too Shabby Box of the Month video hop. My name is Tracy, and in today's video I'll be working with a couple of the products from the box and we'll make this adorable little card. So one thing I want to say is that there's a giveaway. Hey, who doesn't love a giveaway? I'm going to be using the Happiness is Homemade paper pad, and I'm going to be using the Bake Me Happy stamp set and some color pencils, some vellum, miscellaneous. Now this has the cutest little retro designs, and I used for my prototype I used one with the white background, but for this one I want to use one with the turquoise background. I just love these little retro ladies on these cooking sheets. Just adorable. So I will be doing some stamping and coloring and fussy cutting, and most of that's going to happen off camera. I've got these pops of colors that match perfectly. It's rose colored, and then I'm going to trim down my paper to 5 by 3 3/4. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you how to enter to win. You just follow the hashtag, the N2S What's Cooking. And also, if by chance that doesn't work, I'm going to list each member of the hop down below. In order to win, you're going to need to visit each channel and enter in the Rafflecopter that's linked down below. So I'm going to grunge this up because it just would not be a Tracy card without grunge. But I'm going light, so I'm just using a little bit of brush corduroy and going around the edges, not going too crazy. And then I'll be grunging up the ephemera too. And then here I've got some vellum. This is from Trinity Stamps. And I'm just going to select a color that I feel like goes on it. And the point is to just kind of mute out a little bit of that background for my handmade ephemera from the stamps. So I'm going to cut this out, and I used a little postage stamp. And what I like to do with vellum is I like to stitch it. And I put my sewing machine, by the way, on the number 2 for stitch length, because it matches most closely with the stitch length, the fake stitch length thing. Let's spit that out. So I'll be right back after I sew this on. All right, we've got this all sewn on. We're just going to set that aside, and we're going to stamp out our goodies to go on top. So I'm going to be using the little mixer, and I'm gonna grab my stamp platform here, and that's an old background stamp I have put in there upside down. Holds stuff great. I wrecked it when I first got it by using, I don't know, Stays On or some sort of black ink that doesn't come off. Oh, the stamp still works. It's just really ugly, but that's okay. It does its job. So I'm going to pull out the stamps that I'm going to be using. Then I'll be using the little mixing spoons. And I'm going to just stamp them all on this. This is Accent Opaque 110 pounds, I think. I'm going to grab the rolling pin, and I'm going to grab a cupcake. So I'm going to have 4 elements on here. I'm just going to stamp these out in black. This is the cutest set, and I will be doing a live unboxing basically of the whole box, so that you can see what all you get if you do get the box of the month. And if you join the club, you can save 18%. So if you have it shipped to you monthly, and I'll of course link it down below. So I'm just giving it a couple of stamps and putting a little pressure just to make sure everything's all nice and black. And I'll be coloring all of these off camera because that's kind of a long process, and I am coloring them with pencils. I don't use alcohol markers. I may someday in the future, but for now I use pencils or water markers. So I've been lately into my pencils, so I'm going for it with the pencils. And I'll be back once that's all done. You do want to make sure though that before you start coloring on there that everything's nice and dry, that your black ink is dry so you don't smudge it. The Accent Opaque paper likes to absorb it pretty well. So I'm going to use a couple of shades of green and a couple of shades of brown, a couple of shades of kind of a coral color, and I'm using a mixture of my Castle Arts and my Prismacolors. All right, so we've got them all cut and colored, And then I stamped out Bake Someone Happy and cut it out. And now I'm going to grunge up the edges of all of these components. And using the same brush corduroy, which really kind of goes nicely with the colors of the background paper. All right, so we're ready to assemble. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to pop this up onto my craft card base. And this is just a piece of fun foam that I've cut down. And I like to use fun foam for this. And the reason that I like to pop these up is because the thread stitching makes it a little bit difficult to stick it to something nice and flat. So if you do this, that mitigates all of that. Okay, so then I'm going to start laying down my components, and I've got some different foams to pop it up. So I'm going to put my rolling pin at the top, I'm going to put my cinnamon at the bottom, my cupcake towards the bottom, my little measuring spoons, and then my mixing bowl, or my mixer. So a couple of things I'm just going to glue flat down, a couple of things I'm going to pop up. I'm going to do the rolling pin flat down. And don't worry about the white hearts. We're gonna change that later. And then I've got these little kind of, they're a lower profile foam square. Let me make sure that's not showing through. I love these foam squares. I do. And the reason why is I'm going to show you how easy it is to pop off the back. I really hate working with these kinds of things when you can't get the backs off. Okay, and so you notice that I'm putting them on in a strange order, but it's just all part of the composition process. So I want to put this cinnamon on so I know where to place my cupcake, because it's going to go flat down. And these are just some strips from scrapbook.com. I like the foam strips. I think you can get these foam strip things at the dollar store. I don't remember. My dollar store has gotten really, really bad about not having crafty goodies. So yeah, so I'm going to put my cupcake flat down, and then I'm going to pop my mixer up on some higher profile foam pads. And yes, I realize they're black. It doesn't matter. If somebody's looking in your card that deeply, they deserve to know. So yep, loving how easy these pop off. But I still use my tweezers because my hands just are huge. Okay, so that's all popped up. Now we're just going to take our, this is Dusty Rose is the name of the color. I couldn't remember the name earlier. I'm going to take my Dusty Rose and I'm going to just fill in these little hearts. And this card is that easy, folks. I'll put a couple of drops here and there. Don't forget to visit all the rest of the HOP members for your chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Not2Shabby Shop. And I thank you so much for watching. Appreciate everybody's time. Here we go. I hope that you do have a wonderful day. And don't forget to visit the Not2Shabby Shop's channel and the rest of the members. Have a good one. Bye-bye.